Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and today I'm going to start with what looks to me to be some shots being fired in the digital asset space. As many of you know, not too long ago, it was, well, actually he gives the date here. On April the 2nd, Binance acquired CoinMarketCap, and this guy's laying this out, and he says on April 3rd, it was ranked 15th with 2/3 of volume suspicious according to CoinMarketCap's adjusted volume metric. Today, it's ranked first, and the adjusted volume metric has gone, putting it first in volume 2. Now, I'm not weighing in on one way or another on what I think of this. I just wanted to show you that the shots have been fired, it looks like, because we've got a reply to this from Michelle O'Connor, and she is the VP of Marketing for Uphold, and she says, if you can't earn it, just turn on the money printer and buy it, right? So, looks like it should be kind of interesting to see where all that goes. Okay, now, let me get rid of that. Okay, now this was an interesting tweet. It's by James, I don't even know what all that writing is there. James Rue, XRP, Rule XRP. Okay. U.S. investors buy alternative coins after buying Bitcoin. Coinbase talks about virtual currency investor trends. Now, folks, this graphic cannot be underestimated. My father and I, the official father of the Digital Asset Investor channel, we have been talking about this since we got into this way many years ago. And that is that Bitcoin has its place atop the list of digital assets, not because of anything having to do with its technology. It's all first mover advantage. From the very beginning when I got into this until now, you've had more Bitcoin pairings with different things than anything. And if you go back to 2013, if you wanted to buy anything, you had to go through Bitcoin to do it. But the market is still like that to an extent. That's part of the reason I say that Bitcoin cannot and will not maintain its spot as this dominant thing, because over time you're going to have more pairings. But not only that, people are going to gravitate to the digital assets that they can go in, buy all the other different things, and then move quickly when they want to transfer it. And that's not Bitcoin. Not going to be Bitcoin. And that's what this chart is about. First purchase is not Bitcoin. 40% of people, the people where Bitcoin is their first purchase, is 60%, and 36% of it eventually purchase other assets. There's only 24% of them that remain in Bitcoin and never go to buy other things. So you can see what all this really means. Bitcoin's life on top is going to be very short-lived, and it'll happen really fast. Now, I'm going to show you a video at the end of this that will really put together in your mind how technology moves and just how fast things can change and do change with regard to technology. I'm going to show you a Glenn Hutchins clip. That guy is a genius, and he lays it out. Now, from XRP Yo-Yo, this is really good news. Sygnum, the world's first digital asset bank, has launched XRP on its platform. XRP now available for custody, trading, and credit services at Sygnum is the third most capitalized protocol token after Bitcoin and Ethereum. You are about to begin to see digital banks, folks, and you're going to see what happens to the value of your XRP when all of your friends and family who made fun of you about buying digital assets, what happens when all of a sudden one digital bank pops up, then another, and all of a sudden everyone is able to buy these digital assets, all the average Joes out there. Well, what happens is very obvious if you think it through. NBK Crypto sent me this. Visa applies for digital dollar blockchain patent. Now, this was a very interesting thing. It says the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office published today that Visa has filed a patent application to create digital currency on a centralized computer using blockchain technology. This patent applies to digital dollars as well as other central bank digital currencies such as pounds, yen, euros, and so the physical currency of a central bank anywhere in the world could be digitized. Now, this is also interesting because they brought in Christopher Giancarlo, who is working on the digital dollar project. And they've got a quote here from him. He says, "This confirms when the U.S. does big things like the space program and the internet, there are partnerships between private and public sector. This patent filing is evidence the private sector is very much at work on the future of money." It says he's been active at the Consensus Distributed. I actually played some video from that for you. Now, here's the patent, but I wanted to show you the graphic that they had with this patent. You can see we've seen all of this type stuff before. I wanted to draw your attention just to this part right here. Validating entities. Okay. It's not going to be a bunch of people sitting at home in their bedroom shoes or their sitting around in their pajamas running validators, folks. It's going to be entities, people, the banks, whether it's government organizations, banks, major universities in different countries. These are the people that are going to be running these validators. It's the only thing that ever made any sense is to have the infrastructure of these countries, whether it's banks, government entities, their universities, think tanks. Those will be the people running the validators, not just for whatever this is Visa's doing, but also for, like I've said, and like Brad Garlinghouse has said, Standard Chartered will be a node on the network away. Stuart Alderati told us that there's going to be that the SEC is going to run a validator. You can see very obviously where this is going. Okay. So now let's make a point about Visa since it's obvious they're in the game. First, XRP Crypto Wolf had summarized this. Visa filed a patent for digital fiat currency and the filing points to a central bank use case. The proposed innovation is pitched as a way to bridge the advantages offered by cryptocurrency with those provided by traditional government-issued ones. Let me have a sip of my coffee with cinnamon in it. Okay. Now, let's talk about Visa. First, Michelle Vandenberg reminded me of this. Ripple Labs and Earthport announced global partnership. This was December 3rd, 2014. Ripple Labs is thrilled to announce a partnership with Earthport, a regulated financial institution whose cross-border platform represents the largest open network for global bank payments. All right. And then there was this from Ian Northing. This is back May 10th, 2019. This document shows that Rothschild and Company was more or less consulting with Earthport to be bought by Visa. So they were facilitating this transaction. Recommended cash offer for Earthport PLC by Visa International Service Association, a wholly owned direct subsidiary of Visa Inc. And it shows Rothschild and Sons, which is authorized and regulated in the U.S., is acting exclusively for Earthport and for no one else in connection with the offer and will not be responsible to anyone other than Earthport for providing the protections afforded to its clients, And so it shows you very clearly that they, and here it says to the Earthport directors who have been so advised by Rothschild and Company as to the financial terms of the offer, consider the terms of the offer to be fair and reasonable. Good old Rothschild always seems to pop up. Okay, then there was this by Chris Larson, and this is from Jack the Rippler. What?
Is this notion of building the internet for value exchange, and that's really the mission that we're trying to accomplish. What does that mean for financial institutions? It means that banks remain the custodians. They can also correspond with each other directly, and they use the real-time settlement system without putting up capital on both sides, and we're getting maximum competition for that exchange of value. That's a fundamental structural chain and correspondent banking. The networks, whether that's SWIFT or Visa or Earthport, they can also use those same benefits for their customers. And for regulators, I actually think this is also a big step forward because you get so much more transparency. It's so much easier to track sort of degrees of separation tools in real time. And we think it actually shortens the time it takes to catch the bad guys. There's this notion of building.
Okay, thought that was an interesting little tie-in there. Okay, then from DJ Peter Voss, First American Crypto Bank. Wyoming ready to host world's first crypto banks. It's going to be based in Wyoming. The state is currently accepting charter applications for banks that plan on serving customers through digital asset management. Wyoming legislature has approved several measures with the goal of preparing the state's regulatory environment for the presence and management of digital currencies such as Ethereum, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ripple, and the rest. The bank is expected to operate using blockchain technology. Do I need to get my son to draw you a picture again? XRP Bart sent me this from Ripple. It was new on Insights. Ripple's Emmy, I can't remember her last name, Emmy Yoshikawa, shares how established financial institutions can innovate and keep up with new technologies. I'm not going to go into this. Just wanted to show you. You can go to the feed here and you can read that article. Now, Rob Licker sent me this. Now, this is important for those of you that use the XRP tipbot. Vin had tweeted this out to all XRP tipbot users. This is important. Please read this carefully. Action required. In a couple of days, this will mean fiat on-ramp, bank card, other crypto, fiat off-ramp, etc. for the XRP tipbot. Now, basically, I'm going to give you just the gist. They have hooked up with Uphold. So you're going to have an Uphold account, and you're going to basically link your Uphold account to the XRP tipbot. This has something to do with some regulations that were passed in the Netherlands, and this is why he had to do this. He says, so yes, users will have to link an Uphold account before they can send or receive tips in the near future, but the upside of the XRP tipbot, Uphold. So if you don't have an Uphold account, go open one. I have one. It's a good platform. XRP Crypto Wolf. Ripple is working on this is what we were talking about the other day, how that Ripple announced they were going to get into lending. Okay. Well, this was linked to an article from the block. They quoted a couple of people from Ripple. I just wanted to read you those quotes from Ripple about this because I had not heard anything directly from Ripple. We are expanding our offering to loans to further support our customers with their working capital needs, something that we know is a huge pain point for many of them, the spokesperson said. The offering is still in its early stages, but we have received positive feedback from several customers. Global payments remain at the heart of our business, and we are excited to find new ways to serve our existing and prospective RippleNet customers. And I think that is pretty much it from that article. Now, yesterday, I played you this clip. I'm going to play it one more time from Glenn Hutchins, who, remember, Glenn Hutchins is an investor in Ripple. He's on the board at the Digital Currency Group, which also was one of the first investors in Ripple. And here's what he said in this clip I played for you.
Scale, and it just gives you some magical, some sense of what can be accomplished. And then additionally, I think in the next couple of years, we're going to see the first major implementations of some of the cryptocurrency technologies to the financial services industry in ways that are transformative. People will start to really understand the importance there.
Okay, and here's what's important about that clip. This is from November 21st, 2019. They're about to, in the next 2 years, and he said this in November 21st, 2019, next 2 years, you're not just going to see blockchain begin to be implemented, but you're going to see crypto finance being implemented into the traditional financial system. That's what you're about to see. Now, what I want to address right now, because I found a Glenn Hutchins clip that I think perfectly illustrates where we are. I have seen all the thousands of tweets. Why are we at only 20 cents or 18 cents or this? And all these people have whined and complained about, oh, this bear market. Well, if you truly understand the way financial technology works, you can better understand where you are. And I still believe, and this is something that blows my mind to this day, and it's not just average people in XRP social media or crypto Twitter. I'm dumbfounded by how many people, even some of the people that talk about this on their YouTube channels and every day of their life. I am dumbfounded by how many people there are out there that still do not know what they own in XRP. And there's a lot of them, not a handful. There's a lot. And it's a lot of them that are actually speaking to people, to thousands of people every day that do not know what they hold, what they hold. There are still people that think that this all comes down to whether the coin market cap pumps or doesn't pump on some daily basis. That is, Glenn Hutchins himself said it to you very clearly, that those things are a distraction, because once this goes in motion, it is on. Okay, it's on like Donkey Kong, like I say. Now, he tells in this clip, he's talking to some students at a high school, and he's explaining to them, and he's talking to the guy on stage, he's explaining to them how fast technology moves, and how it can happen slowly at first, but then overnight. That is what you are about to see happen with XRP, with Ripple, with all these things. And I want you to listen. He illustrates it using an example of a pond and lily pads. Listen closely, because this is how this goes down, folks. You don't think anything's happening, and then all of a sudden it did.
You're investing in these companies. How do you deal with the pace of change? You talk a little bit about the pace of change in technology and how to deal with that as an investor and as a consumer. So is it okay if I give Mr. Stanton a little quiz here? Is that all right? A little pop quiz, see if you can answer the question. Is that all right? Okay, imagine, and I'm going to get to the point here, but imagine there's a pond in your house, and there's a single lily pad on that pond. And that you learn that lily pad reproduces itself every day. So one day there's two, one day there's one, there's two, then there's four, then there's 8, then there's 16. You wake up 29 days later, so it takes 29 days, and the pond is half covered with lily pads. How many days does it take for the entire pond to be covered? 29 days, it produces itself every day, 29 days to cover half of the lily pond. How many days to cover the whole thing? The answer to that, I believe, is one. One more day. Well done. How about now you see what we got to be chairman of the board? That's a question that they ask kids to go to work at Google. That's one of the quizzes you get when you turn up at Google for your job. And if you don't answer that question, you don't get to the second interview. So the point is, that's something called Moore's Law. And Moore's Law is an observation that Gordon Moore, who's one of the people who invented the semiconductor, which is the fundamental technology, absolute heart of all these devices and technology that we use today, made 50 years ago, which is that the amount of the transistors that can fit on a semiconductor will double every 18 months. And that there's been nothing in the history of capitalism or society that's grown at that rate, ever. And that's what we're experiencing in the world around us. So, if you had invested 50 years ago $1 in a security that grew at the rate that Moore's Law grew, you'd be worth $4.5 billion today. And 18 months from now, you'd be worth $9 billion. Well done, right? That's the chairman of the board who had followed Dan. And so the point is, but if you go back to the lily pad analogy for a minute, you go along in life and it's one lily pad, and then it's two, and then it's four, and then one day you wake up and it looks like it's half the pond's covered. Next day you get up, full pond. Next day two, next day four, and the world changes. And that's kind of roughly where we are today with technology, which is a thing that's moving relatively quietly and silently now, has got to a level of critical mass that it's moving so rapidly now that it's, on the one hand, very beneficial for all of us, and on the other hand, very frightening and challenging for people who aren't familiar with it. Because it's now become observable. Now the entire pond is covered, and now there are going to be 2 ponds, and there are going to be.
I think that perfectly illustrates we have watched Ripple lay tracks, and I've compared it in the past. we've watched them lay railroad tracks the same way. I think it was Vanderbilt. I can't remember which one of the moguls back in the day maybe it was Rockefeller, railroad tracks across the country. And then one day he had those all connected. And then he was able to put train cars on them and transport people and product. And all of a sudden he was printing money. Okay. That is how I see Ripple. And I believe that all these people that are saying, oh, the market's slow, we've been in a bear market for this long, and they get discouraged. I think that's a perfectly normal human response. But if they really know what they own and really know what Ripple is and what Ripple has been doing, then they would not lose 1 ounce of sleep over it, because they would know that one fine day they're going to wake up. And it's going to happen quick when it happens. And that pond is going to be full of lily pads, whereas there's 1 and 2 and 4 and 6 and 8 and 16 right now. And we've been watching that slowly build. But I believe there's a day coming sooner rather than later that all of us are like, wow. And Miguel Valles said something to that effect, that he thought that this thing at some point he's going to look back and go, woof, we all changed the world. And that's what's about to happen. I want to finish this video reminding you, you can still you got 2 more days left. 50% off the Ledger Nano S's. Go in the description of all my videos and you can click on the link and it'll take you there. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family that pond is about to fill up with lily pads. Thanks for listening.